How would you like to wake up one day and your money is either frozen or completely taken out of your bank account? In this video, I'm going to show you proof of exactly how debt collectors are doing this in all 50 states across the United States. I'm here to tell you that we're the only company that is out there helping people with this situation. But regardless of what I say, proof is in the pudding. I want to show you proof of exactly how they do this. And I find it strange that news reports or news outlets are not reporting on this. I find it strange that a lot of attorneys don't like doing this work. I find it strange that a lot of people tend to believe what people put on social media or on YouTube or different platforms, that you don't have to respond to debt collectors when they send you letters. Well, I'm going to show you proof of a chain of exactly what can happen to you if you have a debt collection letter sent to you. This is exactly what can happen, and the result could be that they could end up freezing your bank account or taking all of your money out of your bank account, the amount that you owe to that debt collector. I'm going to show you exactly how they do it. So now, this is an individual who came to us. I had blacked out their information for privacy. They received a debt collection letter way back in June of 2024. Guess what? They disregarded that letter. In these letters, they specifically state you have the right to dispute all of it or any of it. They've purchased a debt, and they don't really know what is true and what is not true. But if you don't say anything, if you don't dispute it, and also if you don't dispute it properly, you could send a dispute, but if it's not done properly, they're going to disregard it. So that's step one. If you don't respond to the debt collection letter properly, they're going to be able to disregard your dispute, and they're going to go to step two. What is step two? Step two is where they put that information on your credit reports to cause you pain, to cause you harm, to make your credit score go down, to stop you from being able to get approved for potentially a car loan or a mortgage or something that you're trying to get, maybe a student loan. That's step two. So now let's move to step three. What is step three? That's when they actually sue you in court. They will send a summons to you. Now, there have been plenty of videos and people out there saying, oh, I just won't answer the summons. Well, here is proof of an individual who did not answer the summons. They didn't even accept it. So what they'll do is they will send a process server to your doorstep. Knock, knock, knock. Are you that individual? If you say yes, they're going to say you've been served. If you do not answer the door, in some states they can leave it. In some states they have to take it back. And guess what they do when they take it back? They just say that they attempted to serve. So now when they attempt to serve and you do not answer that service of that judgment, they're going to do this step here. They're going to motion, and you can see it right here, that has the plaintiff has not received an answer in the case. Therefore, we have enclosed the plaintiff's motion for default judgment. That's when the defendant does not show up to answer the summons. You are required to show up to answer that summons. If you do not respond to that summons, they are going to motion for default judgment. That means that the court must accept that all of the documentation, all of the evidence, whatever they say in statements, even if it's not true and cannot be proven, the court has to accept it as true, and they will allow the plaintiff to get a default judgment. So now let's go to the next step. Once they go back to court and then they put in their motion to get a default judgment, the court will still give you a little bit of time to respond. But what do most people do? They don't respond, or they don't know how to respond. You could actually go to court and you do not have an answer to that initial summons, and you would leave court with a judgment. The only difference is that you won't have a default judgment, but you'll still have the judgment. In this case, the individual did not respond to the motion for default judgment. It specifically states right here, the deadline for the defendant to file an answer has passed, and the defendant has not filed an answer or any pleading constituting any answer and has not entered an appearance in the above entitled and numbered cause. So they ended up getting a default judgment against them. Now, what this validates is that even if you are not a participant in the case will move forward, regardless if you're there or not. So now, what happens on the next step? So now on the next step, and this is going to validate what I've talked about in my other videos about when people say, well, I'm not at that address or this or that. Look at this right here. This was actually filed with the court that they sent a certificate of last known address. What this is stating is that, Judge, we tried to contact this individual at their last known address and there was no response. So now, what do you think happened after they did this? Let's go to the next step. Okay, now, this is the next step. This is what this individual received on February 20th, 2025. So I've just showed you the whole chain, the whole domino effect of not responding. So here's the end result. It says here, the enclosed court order required us to place a hold on your Chase accounts, not just one account, Chase accounts, every account, which may include safe deposit boxes, boxes. We recently received the enclosed court order, which either enforces a legal garnishment against you or secures a possible judgment in a lawsuit that's been filed against you. As a result, we are required to immediately place a hold on your Chase accounts. This means that you aren't able to withdraw any money, any amount that reduces the balance below, which it shows, got it blacked out, showed the amount that was in this individual's account. So now I just showed you a domino effect of what would happen from not responding to that one debt collection letter, from not responding appropriately to that first debt collection letter. The next thing that I showed you is a domino effect of not responding to a court summons, if they summons you to court. The next domino effect that I showed you was that they could actually put a hold on your account, and in some cases, they're just allowed to take the money directly out of the account. So now the next question that I have for you is, if you have debt collectors that are calling you and sending you letters, what do you think would be the wise thing for you to do right now? It would be to respond appropriately to those debt collections letters, because you can potentially stop them right in their tracks from the beginning, which will stop them from being able to put that information on your credit reports. If they already have it on your credit reports right now, utilizing the right type of response would get them to stop coming after you and take that information off of your credit reports. Now, some people will have came to us and they said, well, it is not even on my credit reports. How can they do this? How can they sue me if it's not on my credit reports? Because those are two different things. Information on your credit reports is about data. And it is about accuracy, but it's about data. You can get the information removed off your credit reports solely by technicality, because it has to be 100% accurate. But that does not mean that that debt collector or any creditor cannot sue you in court. So if you're sued in court, you must respond to each allegation in that summons, and you must put a defense. You cannot just go in there and deny, like you've heard on different videos or other software companies that are out there. That stuff will not work. I'm here to tell you, we do this every day in my office. So you must respond to that court summons, and you must put together a defense to defend yourself against the allegations and to defend yourself against what debt collectors and original creditors must bring when they put the case together initially. You can get your whole case dismissed basically because they didn't even come to the court the right way. But you don't know how to do that. There's no one out there that does this type of work. So now, if you have debt collectors who are sending you letters, I'm about to give you the solution. If you have debt collectors sending you letters, I want you to go immediately to summonsmaster.com. Summonsmaster.com. You can see the link either above or below this video or in the description. Summonsmaster.com. You can get help right away responding to any debt collection letter using the information by just uploading your letter, because you don't want to make any mistakes. You don't need to type anything. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is upload that debt collection letter. Summons Master will do all of the work. It will scan those documents using natural language processing, scan through your documents and put together a debt validation that's appropriate for your specific debt collector letter. If you have debt collectors initially suing you, not like this case where the individual already had a default judgment. I'm talking about you're at the beginning phase. You got a summons. You can go right to Summons Master, upload your summons, and have an effective response to your summons to help you not only respond, but help you win your case. If you don't do that, you're going to allow this domino effect right here to potentially happen to you. It could either be wage garnishment, it could either be bank account garnishment or a combination, or it could be a combination of wage garnishment, bank account garnishment, and personal property. They do not care. These people do not care how they get their money. All they are focused on is getting their money. So if you find yourself in this situation, go to Summons Master and get it done so you can remain compliant and respond and not let this end result happen to you. If you have a default judgment already, even if they're taking money from you, go to Summons Master, fill in the contact form, tell us what's going on, and we will follow back up with you and let you know how we can help you. Thank you for your time. Subscribe to my channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com and creator of summonsmaster.com.